Our friendship was very special. 50 years. My dearest Molly, I love you so much. There are no goodbyes for us. Wherever you are, you will always be in my heart. And to my dear Fiona and Nigel, I love you both. There was nobody like your mum. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Love always, Rosemary. Thank you, Rosemary. I love you too. Thank you, Kim, for being online today. This is a poem. I need to get a hanky. This is a poem from my dear Uncle Bill, Mum's brother Billy.
We can't hear you, Fiona.
No. What's that gone off? Hello? Hello? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me? Oh, this is a blessing.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello. There we go. Can you hear me now, Stina?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh dear, thirsty book. Okay. It's really hard to see because it's quite dark. This is from my Uncle Bill, written by Bill, The Last Farewell. When the day is over and the light is falling fast and my loved ones are around me and I'm about to breathe my last, then my memories draw the curtains and back across the years. I think of all the good times and smile through all the tears. I think of all the people I've met upon life's way, of all the lovely friends now sadly passed away. It's been a wondrous journey, but now it's time to go, to fly off on the wings of peace, beyond all space and time. So farewell, my friends and loved ones, don't grieve for me. I pray perhaps we'll meet again, who knows, in another time and day. That's beautiful, Bill. Thank you for sending that, darling. Okay, so this is from Pam and Peter from Kerry Kerry. So before Mum came to live here in the Moochie, Mum had 5 years up in Kerry Kerry with my other brother Stuart. He met some amazing people up there, a group of ladies called Fruit Loops, who used to work at the hospice shop where she met them. And they all used to wear outrageous, colourful clothes every Friday and go and have coffee with each other. And Mum had rather a hard time up at Kerry Kerry. However, those ladies got my mum through, thank God to them. And yeah, there's about 6 of them, and they're all and this is from Pam. When Molly came to live in Kerikeri, it wasn't long before we got to know her and asked if she would like to join our Fruit Loops coffee group. Molly had so many stories to tell. One time while she was in hospital, we visited her and were regaled with entertaining stories about her life that had not only us, but also the other patients in fits of laughter. The doctor came in wondering what on earth was going on. Molly is a born storyteller, and the stories she told of her time at school in England were hilarious. If you ever have the privilege to read the book Molly wrote and had published about her life, you will know what I mean. Once a month, the Fruit Loop group used to go to a restaurant for lunch. This is typical, my mum. Molly ordered an omelette. When the waitress came to ask if we were enjoying our meals, we all smiled politely, but Molly stood up and said no, and demanded to be taken to the chef. The poor waitress did her bidding, and Molly offered to teach him how to make a decent omelette. No, my mum. Unsurprisingly, he turned down her offer. At another restaurant for a luncheon, we all ordered fish. After the meal, Molly said to the owners, "With the prices you are charging, you could afford to serve decent fish rather than the cheapest one available on the market." We all stood behind her, none of us brave enough to say that we were all thinking the same thing. Go, Molly! Molly also told us about a time many years ago when she and a friend went panning for gold on a river at the west coast. They brought along a caravan to stay in. One morning it was pouring with rain, and Molly and a friend invited a couple of old prospectors into the caravan for tea and scones. The laughs and stories lasted most of the day. Next morning, one of the old gentlemen arrived on their doorstep with a sack containing pieces of punanu and insisted that Molly kept it. My husband managed to sell one piece for her, but the other rocks had none or very little value. Molly had a very interesting life and was a kind, strong, independent woman, a great role model for the rest of us females. P.S. Forgot to mention Molly's cooking skills. Her Scottish shortbread is fabulous, and her green tomato chutney from a recipe passed down from her grandmother is excellent. I treasure my copy of the recipe, handwritten by Molly. Rest in peace, Molly. Keep the stories going up there. Regards, Pam and Peter. So my mum was an amazing cook, and she used to make a shortbread, Scottish shortbread, and I've never seen it anywhere before. And Nigel knows Scottish shortbread well, so I've endeavoured to this morning with the help of one of my French visitors here, Solene, because I was a bit stressed. Hi, Taylor. So I hope this will repeat for you to try. It will not be as good as my mum's, I know, but we gave it a go and I'm going to get better at it. Okay, I think I've just got one more email to read. Val. This is the last one. And this is a friend, Val McKenzie, also from Sheffield. She's rafting on the Clarence River this morning, and she desperately wanted to be here or online, but she said she knew that Mom would be very proud of her rafting down the Clarence River, and her thoughts will be with her. So, hi Fiona, some thoughts on Molly. Molly first came into the Wright household when our children were very young. She was the on-site work nanny for Tim and Wilbur and Lynn Rhodes' children at the Beecroft. A perfect situation for working mothers with young children. Molly then went on to help me with our increasing brood of children, having input into Ginny and Fiona as well as the boys. She was such a delight with the kids, humorous, loving and so involved. When May Wright had a stroke at the age of 54, May is Belle's mother, Molly was employed to help with May's day-to-day recuperation. She was so much more than May's help. She became a very good friend, and in May's words, they had so much fun together. I remember hearing the story of Molly driving May back from town one afternoon. Exiting the main West Road to head up to the old West Coast Road, there is an island at the entrance. Instead of turning gently right, Molly turned hard right and was driving up the wrong side of the road. After a moment of anxiety, there was much hilarity and sighs of relief. They had not had a head-on collision. Molly knitted many garments for our children. Some involved dog hair, Glenn and Charlie. They were both collies of my mum, and Mum used to brush them a lot, and she used to take the coat out and spin it, because she had a spinning wheel, and she'd spin those dogs' coats and knit jerseys out of them. I've got one, and it's absolutely amazing. It's far too hot to wear. It's just the cats like to sleep on it, but yeah, it's amazing. She was very clever. So Molly knitted many garments for our children. Some involved dog hair, Glenn or Charlie spun into the garment. Many jerseys are now being worn by our grandchildren. Go well, Molly, you were an amazing woman and very much part of our family and the Sheffield district. Lots of love, Val, Hugh and family. Wow. So I wrote that speech last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. We listened everything to the last moment, of course. I really wanted to include some of Mum's funny stories so that it would be a bit lighter, but I felt I just wanted to give you an overlay, and the photos that Stina has, I sent a whole lot of photos over to Stina, and Stina has put them in a slideshow. So I'm hoping that, you'll be able to see on the big screen. If you can't, you can just move your chair a little closer. And but before I do that, is anyone here who would like to get up and say anything about my mum? Yes, please do.
Yeah. I'm Nigel, and I just wanted to say how much I've enjoyed being a neighbour for the last 3 years. She was an extraordinary woman. Even when she was willing to talk, you could see her every day sit up with her Zimmer frame down the road and go to the And I just wanted to say, I've seen Molly over the last month. I've had to come over here and do the talk, and how much your care as a daughter means to her. And it was really good. I enjoyed your speech because it filled in a lot of gaps that I never knew. She was obviously a pretty extraordinary lady.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, and thanks very much.
Thank you, Nigel.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.